the Mobuku Chronicles, where 3,500 people are killed every week in America alone as a result of taking their drugs. You know, according to the manufacturers, not trying to commit suicide. You know, they're just taking the medication prescribed to them. We have become a country of drugged out zombies, and it is all perfectly legal. Perhaps some would give up their drugs, but for the most part, Americans are totally in love with their drugs, and giving them up would not be easy. Just ask anyone who has tried. So that is that, and I just want to go into to finish up here, that we have this problem of alcohol. And you know, I'm a student of Rudolf Steiner's, and I'll be bringing more of his stuff to the forefront here over the course of the next few years. And this is what he had to say. This is from a book. Can you read that? Esoteric Lessons, 1904 to 1909. Thick tome, one of 3 volumes. And I've been studying it for the last, I don't know, month or so. So, here we go. I noted the page because this was really remarkable what he had to say. How should esotericists, esotericists means those people who are studying esoteric knowledge in order to develop themselves as human beings, spiritual development, according to the tenets of spiritual science as he has presented it to us, with the making sure that you understand that this spiritual science has been around for millennia. Okay, anthroposophy, which is another name for the spiritual science, is simply the modern version, the modern, shall we say, expression of the spiritual science as presented to us by the work of Rudolf Steiner over the course of his, well, remarkable life. Let me put it that way. So esotericists relate to the question of nutrition. First of all, we must be clear that we can never achieve spiritual development through any method of nourishment, no matter how good it is, so that speaking radically, one can say that it is of no concern what we use for our nourishment. So that's one side. Speaking practically, however, one makes spiritual development more difficult and even impossible through wrong nutrition. In earlier times, in Atlantean times, alcohol was not on the earth. It came later in order to help people towards their individualization. It closes, now listen, this is the properties of alcohol spiritually. It closes people off from their higher capacities and then closes themselves within themselves. For this reason, alcohol was used in the Dionysian mysteries. However, today everyone in civilized countries has already reached this stage, and alcohol today is only an evil. People who use it lose the ability to adapt to others and to understand them. Alcohol injures esotericists, especially because they transform all the higher powers they develop into powers of the personal, self-centered, self-satisfied, egocentric I. Again and again they enclose these within themselves and, so to speak, tear apart the astral body, their own astral body, through the two opposing streams. The astral body is also known as the soul. Through the two opposing streams, the higher and the lower powers of the I. That principle through which everyone can consciously achieve his or her own individualization has been brought to humankind through Christ coming to earth. For this reason Christ Jesus said, I am the true vine. By using alcohol, we prepare a breeding ground for numerous bands of spiritual beings which are necessarily demonic, just as poorly cleaned room is found to be full of flies. So that's what alcohol does. And I talked at length about the consumption of alcohol in the world in one of my earlier episodes. I wonder which one it was. Let me check. I went into this in great detail in an earlier episode. I don't know, it must have been, yeah, episode 6. Alcohol consumption in the US per year, liquor, 2.192 gallons per person per year. A beer per person per year, 2,758.4 ounces per year. And the money, 23.97 billion, no, total amount 23.97 billion liters in the United States, 3 trillion ounces, only exceeded by China. I went into a whole bunch of stuff here. Episode 6, check it out. All right, because I said that alcohol consumption and drug use in general is a consequence of the eating of meat, animal protein. From the point of view, just yin and yang dynamics. So, now we get into meat. What Steiner has to say here for meat. The meat that we eat is permeated by the astral body of the animal. That makes it necessary for our own astral body to cooperate in order to digest it, this animal protein. In this way, excessive demands are made upon the astral body, and it cannot dedicate itself to its own task, the creation of pitches. Furthermore, in the night, it cannot properly leave the etheric body, but rather is forcibly held by it, which, creates insomnia. Thus it is also hindered in its nightly task of restoring the life forces. And he also goes into physical exercising, as intense physical training and exercise, bathing, etc., etc., is very negative. So, that's what I wanted to really impress. The reason why the people of this country, and the world generally, are completely asleep at the wheel as to what's happening as regard as the policies, or shall we say the directives of the shadow government, which is worldwide. It's not just in America, it's worldwide. And the thing is with Charles U. Smith, he doesn't say, he neglects to mention that the shadow government is the force that was responsible for the Kennedy assassination. It is responsible for the Fukushima nuclear quote unquote accident. It is responsible for the deep water horizon sabotage, that took place in the Gulf of Mexico. It is responsible for the HAARP, the High Altitude Aurora Research Project, which is run by the U.S. military out in Alaska, and are messing with the weather patterns of the world through that quote-unquote research institute. And